friends, welcome back. This is Fernanda from Little Monkeys and Me, and this is episode 7. If you have been here before, welcome back. And if you're brand new, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Fernanda. I live in North Carolina in the United States with my 3 kids, my husband, and our puppy, Luna. And like I said, this is episode 7. It's been a minute since we've met, but it's been busy and good. So let's talk about what we've been up to. We finished school. So I homeschool, for the ones who don't know. I homeschool my 3 kids. Well, my youngest one, he's not quite in school age yet. He's only 4. But I homeschool my kids, and we just finished our school year at the end of May. Yay! It's so good. I love homeschooling, but it's also so good to be done for the year. Then my daughter, she's my middle child, she turned 8. She got baptized, and we had a party. So I might put some pictures here of, I was busy baking cookies, making a cake, and just having fun. And I had a little extra time to knit, which is good, but also maybe dangerous for the podcast because it might be long. So we have lots to talk about today. So I'm trying really hard not to go off and talk forever, which I do sometimes. So let's go ahead and start. So we're gonna start with some admin information because we reached the 1,000 subscribers, and I don't even know what to say other than thank you. I never thought that was gonna happen. When I started this at the end of last year, I mean, let's be real, December 30th, the end of last year, I was doing it for fun because I loved watching podcasts, and I wanted to when I was watching the podcast, I always had something to say, and I was like, oh, I have something to share about that, or I want to talk about that. So I just went ahead and jumped on the wagon, which is scary, but it's been so worth it. I've made some wonderful friends, maybe not in person, but we're still friends, or at least I consider them friends. As I watch their podcast, I'm like, oh yeah, my friend from here, my friend from there. My kids are like, have you met them? But it doesn't matter. We're still friends. And then some of you who have followed me, you write on my podcast, you comment, then you hop over to Instagram and you comment there and you talk to me. It's been so good, and I thank you so much. So because of that, we are doing a giveaway. And if you remember, if you've been here before, the giveaway price, it's going to be actually 2 things. It is going to be the bag. So I made 2 bags. They're matching. So you'll be matching with me. I made this bag, and it's a drawstring, and I think it's so cute. And it has a pocket inside, and it has cute lining, and it has a pocket. And I did buy, because I was ordering some yarn, and I got myself a matching one, just a different color. So this is mine, and this will be for the winner. And it's a Croft, the West Yorkshire Spinners. And this is an iron weight. And it's Shetland Tweed, which 100% Shetland wool. So it feels really nice. It's really, I don't think it's itchy, but I'm still trying to figure out what I can make. But this will be the price, and that would be the gift. And the question that you need to answer is, well, I guess it's not a question, or you can just comment below. Tell me something good that has happened in the last week or so, in the last little bit since we seen each other, or that you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe you're looking forward to seeing family that you haven't seen in weeks because, well, we know why, or months. Actually, it's been months, over a year. Whatever it is, Tell me something good that you're excited about or that you enjoyed in the last little bit. We've had some wonderful weather. It's been awesome. I love summertime. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. It's so exciting. It's exciting to have the community. It's exciting to just be here. So this moves me to my second topic for admin information. And it is that I'm running a KAL. Well, I'm about to. With Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit. So you haven't seen her podcast, hop over to Ruth Loves to Knit and go give her a like and subscribe because she is so nice. She is an Irish lady living in England right now, and she is, oh, she's so nice. We started about the same time, and we were watching each other, and we've become friends. And last week we had a Zoom get together, I guess. So we have officially met. And it was so fun. It was like talking to an old friend, and it was, we kind of kept getting off of topic because we were supposed to meet just to talk about the KAL, but no. So let me tell you what the KAL is called. It's called Across the Pond Shawl KAL. And that's exactly what it is. We're doing a shawl KAL. I know it's summer. Maybe you don't love knitting shawls in the summer. I knit all year round. Doesn't matter what it is. And, you know, it can be any size shawl. So let me tell you about it. We are starting on July 1st to September 30th. And I made a little drawing of our shawl KAL just to pop it on Instagram. I might pop it in here and let you see it. But it's starting July 1st to September 30th. And here are the rules. It can be any shawl size. Okay? It can be a whip, but it needs to be less than 25%, like 25% or less done. Because if it's like a one skein shawl and you have 50%, that's like almost there. So we decided 25% or less. You can enter as many times as you want, because you can make as many as you want during that time. And there's going to be 2 places where you can enter. You can enter in Revelry, and I'll be in charge of that one. And then you can also use the hashtag across the pond shawl KAL on Instagram, and Ruth will be monitoring that one. So you get 2 chances to win, and you can obviously double dip, and you can be making any kind of shawl. It doesn't have to be from the book of 52 weeks of shawl that, you know, I got that one and I did make a shawl from it, but it can really be any shawl. Let me see if there's any other. I think those are the only rules. I know that Ruth, it's going to podcast, I think next week maybe, or soon. I don't know exactly when. The 22nd she said, but I don't know for sure. But she'll be podcasting soon, and she'll be talking about it in her channel. So we're very excited. We've never done this before, so bear with us. We think we can do this, but we're excited. So that's all that matters, right? We are excited, and we will get prices. I do have a bag that will go towards the price. I have a bag from Amy from Noble Character Crafts, and that one is going towards the giveaway for, or a prize for that KAL, and I'll get something else for it too. So yeah, so tell me if you're thinking of doing it. I'm going to, on the box below, I will link to my Revelry group page. I made a group page. I hadn't done that yet. And then I also made the KAL. So there's going to be a chatter box, and there's going to be a posting just under an FO's no chatter groups. So if you have never been in a KAL before, a KAL is a knit along, which means we all knit together, and it just brings us to, it's fun. you know, you get to knit and get to know other people who are knitting something similar or the same thing as you, and you get to win prize at the end if you get chosen. So if you've never done it, please try it out this time. It might be really fun. You might really enjoy it. And we thought July to September would be a pretty good time period to finish a shawl. So that is, I don't even know how many minutes that has been, but that I am done with that. And I think we can move on to our finished objects, to our FOs. So let me move this. And let me start with what I'm wearing. If you have been here before, that means you know and you recognized the Maja cardigan. This is by Helen Magnusson, and she's an Icelandic designer. And this is done with Icelandic wool. So it is done with Littlopi. And let me think. I think I'm just gonna pop up my Revelry project page down below, because we talked about the colors last time, and you can go check it out on Revelry. I have all the colors of the Littlopi that I used. I followed the pattern very closely. I did change the green right here, and the color that it showed on the pattern was light blue, but I went with green instead. And I did do very few modifications. I just did the body a little bit longer, and it turned out so good. I will put some pictures up, because there's like not tons of space for me to get up here and to show you really well what it looks like, but I love it. So if you've never knit with Littlopi, it is a very rustic wool. You're definitely going to find some hay once in a while. Just a tiny bit of hay as you're knitting. Just pull it out. Totally fine. And it is not what I would call soft. So if you're used to knitting with merino and superwash merino, this might be quite rough, but I don't know, I don't mind it. Like this, my dress goes to here, and the rest is like next to skin, and I can feel it, but it doesn't bother me. And the one thing I didn't do, I didn't put pockets. It doesn't have pockets. I didn't put buttons. I did make the button band, obviously, and I did make the buttonholes, but I'm still trying to decide whether I want to put buttons. The reason why, I mean, it fits and I can button it, but I don't really wear cardigans button up a whole lot. And usually if it's cold outside, I'm also going to put a shawl and wrap it up around like a scarf. So I don't know. I will see in the winter, when winter comes, and I will see, do I really want to put buttons? And if I do, I would look for some, because they need to be the right kind of buttons to go with this. I love it so much. It was so fun to knit. I love doing color work, and I love using this yarn. I have only used it once before, and I fell in love with it. I made a Rodari for my husband, so a few episodes back you can see it if you want to. But so let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you knit this up. It is, and it's also a free pattern. I forgot to tell you. It is a free pattern, so I can tell you a little bit more about it, because I won't give you anything away because it's free. So you start knitting the sleeves and the round, and I don't have it here, but I did go ahead and buy the Chiago shorties, and I think I showed them last time. But what a difference they made. I mean, I do a lot of sleeves in Magic Loop, and sometimes 2 at a time on Magic Loop, which is totally fine. I think you don't have to go and buy more needles. But I have to say, because the color work, and you start from the cuff and you go up, so because the color work goes all the way to here, it does get a little bit more annoying to do Magic Loop as you are working with with so many colors and you are doing color work. Mostly because I like to knit faster, and when you carry the floats, you want to make sure that they are not too tight. So it just makes it really easy to just have shorter needles. So I went ahead and bought them because I've been wanting them for a while. The next set that I'll buy is also the childhood shorties, but it's the smaller size. I got the one that's bigger, so the blue cord. I want to get the really small ones that work for socks and things like that, even though I have fixed 9-inch sock needles, but you know, that's why I haven't bought it, because I'm like, oh, I have several of them, but I know I'm gonna end up getting it anyways. So you start with the sleeves, you do from the cuff up, and I did end up with my sleeves a bit long, so I made a large, and it fits just fine. And so that's the thing, I'm kind of short, so a large might be it's a little long in my arms. But when I was trying it on, you know, it's always harder because you're trying it on and you're like, oh no, I need a little bit more, I don't want super short sleeves. And then by the time that you join on the round and all that, and then you block it and everything, it's like, oh, it's a bit long, but not terribly long, like, and you can fold it a little bit. I don't mind it at all. But if you do, like, some people like their sleeves to hit right here, I don't mind covering my arms or my hands a little. I'm probably used to it because I am not very tall, so that's the story of my life. My pants, capris pants, are normal size pants for me. and things that are, you know, normal size sleeves for some other people always come to like here to me. So this is not different, and I don't mind it one bit. Then you start the bottom, so you start from the bottom up, and oh, that was so fun. That was so fun. And that's when you have to decide, do I want to add a little bit more to my body? And I was trying it on, well as you can, because it's in the round. Oh, it's steek, so it is on, you're doing this in the round. You do not have to so you can see the steek right here. I have not put a band or anything because it really doesn't bother me. It's totally fine. I did sew it before I cut it, but other than that, I'm letting it go. I want to see what it does. So I did not put a band, and I don't think it looks ugly at all. You can kind of see it, but I don't mind it. I think it looks great. And it really is, I mean, it stays down. You're not gonna, who's gonna go and looking? So you do it in the round, and I did do extra stitches. I talked about it on the other episodes. You can go ahead and watch over there, but I did a few extra stitches for the steek just to give myself a little bit more room. I think the pattern calls for 2 stitches for the steek, and that's just scary to me. I know that it's doable, but it's just, I added a little bit more. So that means I had to buy extra. I just bought one more ball of the main color of the blue. So, and that's it. Then you do, then you join the sleeves in, and then you keep going in the round. You go in the round all the way until, yeah, all the way up, I believe. And then you cut it. I know that technically, especially with such rustic yarns, some people don't even do anything for the steek. They don't sew it, or they don't felt it. They don't do a crochet reinforcement or anything, and it's fine and nothing happens. I have never done that. This is only my second steeking project, so I have never done nothing to it. And you know what, I really want to try one day. Maybe one day I'll make a swatch and I'll just cut it and see what happens if I don't do anything to it before I start making a whole entire garment, and then, you know, something happens. I don't know, but technically it shouldn't. But like I said, I did just sewing on both sides of the steek, and then I cut it in the middle. It was totally fine. I might have a video. I don't remember if I have a video, but I do have a video of me knitting this, so I might have, maybe I put it at the beginning of the video of the podcast. said video too many times. So yes, and then you do the button band. So I'm pretty sure it calls for you to, yes, it does. You have to block it, which I'd highly recommend. You want to have the right size of your garment before you put a button band, because you don't want it to then be too small or then too tight and then it looks all weird. So no. And the button band will actually sit much nicer if everything is blocked. And so yeah, so it got blocked and it's done. And I have air conditioning in my house, otherwise I would not be able to be wearing this, because it is North Carolina, and even though today is not extremely hot, we have a lot of humidity. But this was my first finished object and I love it so much. I just get so excited when it comes to rustic yarn. I think that's truly where my love lies. But then again, I cannot pass up indie dyers that have, you know, the superwash and the colors they get. So what do I know? I can't pick one thing. I just can't. But let's move on to my second FO, and it's actually, I finished it last night. I thought this was going to be a whip, but then last night I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm almost done, and then was knitting and finished. So they're not blocked, but I figured I'll show them to you because you've seen them before. Not too exciting, but they are my son's socks. But I do want to talk about the yarn because I really did like them. So these are pretty bright. These are done in the Yarn Bee. So if you have a Hobby Lobby, if you live in the United States, you've been to a Hobby Lobby, I'm sure. And I'm pretty sure Hobby Lobby, the Yarn Bee is their brand. And so these are their sock. 50% merino, 30% nylon, and 20% acrylic. So a little bit more acrylic than I would probably want. But you know what, they're socks, so I didn't mind. And let me tell you the price. $8.99, so $8.99 for 100 grams. That is such a good deal. Because, you know, I made my son pretty much an adult size. Because he's almost 11, but he's like almost my height. Not saying much. I already said I'm not very tall. I'm only 5'1", 5'2". If you count my hair. No. But yeah, so this is the color Neon Watermelon, which is truly a neon watermelon. It is so bright, but it has pink and like neon pink and a little bit of orangey color. I don't know if you can see it right there on it almost looks a bit variegated, but it's so subtle. It's really cute. And then the top color, it's Frosty Mint. And I have tons of that because that was just the contrasting. And this actually is supposed to be for my youngest son, who's 4. I'll be making him socks in this color. So, and I have another color of this brand and for my daughter. I liked it. It's a bit splitty, a bit, but it's hard to find sock yarn sometimes that it's not at all splitty, but it wasn't terrible. I was fine. I did an Eye of Partridge heel, as you can see here, which is my favorite. Cuff down, like always. I did 20 rounds of cuff. Then I did 60 rounds of the leg, heel, flap, and gusset, and then 60 on the foot. So 60 is what I do for the foot before I start the toe for me, and my son has the same size foot. So I just did 60. So that was not hard. And then I did, what is this toe called? I've been knitting socks for a while and I can't keep up with all the names because I do the same thing all the time. I don't know. Somebody tell me below. I'm sure you guys know. And so yes, that's the sock. And these are my vanilla socks that I do all the time. Oh, 60 stitches. And I make these in 2.5 millimeters, Chiago 9-inch. because they're my favorite. So if you don't know a lot about socks, vanilla socks are just socks that are simple recipe, like no extra pattern. That's why it's called vanilla. So sometimes I feel like I say things and I'm like, well, what if somebody who has never, who's new to knitting, and we just talk and say things that, you know, so I figured I would sometimes mention what I'm talking about. So let me go put these back in here so then it's not that big of a mess afterwards. So that was my second FO. I finished it last night, and that took longer. Usually I'm very fast with socks, but I kind of got distracted. Okay, and I'll show you why. So a few weeks ago, for you guys that don't know, I am from Chile. I lived there until I was 14, and then we moved to the United States. So I'm Chilean, and I didn't really know much of the Chilean knitting community until I started my podcast, and I became friends with another podcaster. She's Chilean. She does it in Spanish. Gloria, hi, hola. And I love Gloria. She's so great. And she started introducing me to this whole world. So I did talk about how the Weasley KAL that I'm doing, that is about to be done at the end of this month. And that's how I started to get to know all these podcasters in Spanish that now I watch, and just became friends with them. And it's so good. This is exactly why I'm doing this, because the community, it's so good. Well, one of them, Katherine, Katherine Smart of Punto Raso. I'll put her information right here so you can go check it out if you speak Spanish and you haven't met her yet. But and if not, just go check it out, or at least go check out her Instagram and you can see the beautiful things she makes. But she's starting to be a designer, which is so exciting. And she needed a test knit, so she needed test knitters for her socks. These are socks. So they are called Bronte the Sister Socks. And these are it. I will take a closer video of them because they're so pretty that it needs a closer video. That's what it needs. But this is what it is. They are gorgeous. I love the socks. It is so easy to do. These are not cables, by the way. These are not cables. So you don't even need a cable needle. And the pattern is in Spanish. But if you know how to knit socks, you could buy the pattern. You could you can see the numbers of the cast on, and you can follow the chart, and you could figure this out for sure. But maybe one day she'll get the pattern in English with, we don't know. I talked about her about, we would talk about that actually. But these are done, and I did them in 2.25s because I was following the pattern. Usually I don't do a lot of socks in 2.25s. It's a slip stitch heel, and the same kind of toe, the one that you decrease, I don't remember, and then Kitchener, and you'd would from the cuff down. So I did follow her pattern to the T because it was a test knit, so I wanted to make sure that everything was good and that it was clear, and it was. She did great. So they're not out yet, but I will let you know when they are, because they were a delight. They were so addicting. I finished them very quickly. And the yarn is actually a 100% merino superwash. It is from Sewrella Yarn, and it was on the Oopsie sale that they had. So I don't have a colorway because this was an Oopsie. So if you don't know what an Oopsie is, they do it maybe twice a year. There are skeins that they put aside because they're either testing new colors, or the color is not exactly what they wanted, but they're not ugly. They're just not exactly what, or when, like I said, when they're testing a brand new color and they're coming up with new colors. So sometimes they may not have more than one skein that is the same. Well, they put them aside, and this last, I think it was May, maybe, or April, I think they might have done it. They had over 600 skeins to sell, and they sold out very quickly. And and they sell them in a pack of 4. You don't get to pick. It just comes. I talked about it, I don't know, 1 or 2 episodes ago, and I showed you a picture of what they are. And this is the first one that I got to use, and it was great, soft, awesome, super good, fingering weight. So that's my second whip. Oh my goodness. I mean, FL, I have a lot of them. Sorry. So the next one is another Katherine Smart. She actually, I think, is this her first pattern that it's like, I think this might be her first paid for pattern that she actually got out, and it was only, I think, at the end of May. So I bought it, supporting friends, plus it was such a pretty design that I wanted to knit it. And then she contacted me and she's like, I'm actually doing a KAL for the socks. So these are the Astrape socks, and they are so much fun. I will make a better video of it, because you can't see the beauty of them so well. But here, I will show you, because the center has this. This is a small cable with really small bubbles, and it is so feminine, so simple, and so beautiful. I'm gonna have to take off my sweater because it's hot now that I'm talking. So yeah, so this was a KAL that started in June 1st, which was perfect because June 1st was also the beginning of summer sock camp. So both things at the same time. I started 2 KALs on June 1st. Sorry, let me just take this off really quick. And with a bunch of people that I had met from the Weasley KAL. And so it was like getting to know more people, and some new people that I've never met. So it's been great. And some of the people in the KAL have never made, it's not quite done yet, the KAL, but some people have never made socks before. Also with the test knit of these ones. So I've been able to help some people, and we've been helping each other, and it's been so good. I really love teaching. That's what I do. I mean, I teach my kids. I am not a teacher per se. I didn't go to school for that, but I do homeschool my kids, and it is something that I just love doing. I love being able to share what I know with others, and try to make it as clear as possible, because I want them to enjoy it as much. I don't know. And I don't want people to feel like they're dumb. That is one thing that I absolutely, like, it's a huge goal of mine. It's like, I want people to understand they're capable of anything. Just need to take your time. So I'm very patient, and well, that's a whole other story, but I do love to teach people. So it's been such a joy. It's been so much fun. We've done the KAL and the test knit. It's been on Telegram, and maybe one day when I run another KAL, I might do it on Telegram. I know that right now. The easiest thing is to do Ravelry and Instagram, but maybe one day I'll do one on Telegram, and we can like have more one-on-one conversations, which would be super fun. But I know not a lot of people know what Telegram is, so it gets a little bit harder. Is that it? So those are my 3 socks I know. So if you're not a lover of socks, we got those out of the way. The next one is, I just have it sitting on, before I had any project bags, this is usually what I kept my things in, like big tote bags that I don't even know where this came from. They just appear in my home. I feel like tote bags just make it here, but I've had to have this one hidden. It's still not blocked, but you get the gist. Well, here's the thing. It's technically blocked though, because I blocked the front and the back, and did I block the arms? I'm pretty sure I blocked the arms too. So I blocked everything before I put it together, because this was a piece. Like you knit it in pieces, and then you put it together. I'd never done that before. All the sweaters I've made are either, you know, yoke sweaters. So you start from the top or down, or in the round, but from the bottom up, and then you just join the sleeves and you go up, you know, raglans and all that. I've never done a sit-in sleeve piece sweater, and they're not my favorite. It's okay. I don't mind purling. That's not the problem. It's more like, it's just not my thing, but it's done and it looks so good. So here it is. So this is the Weasley sweater from the book, the Harry Potter Magic. What's it called? I'll write it down here because I can't remember the name of it and I don't have it with me. Who knows where it is? Don't know where I put it. Wait. Oh, the Knitting Magic. There it is. I saw it. The Harry Potter Knitting Magic book that I have. And this is like Mrs. Weasley home sweater or something like that, I think it's called. And I made it with Knitpicks, Wool of the Andes, Tweed. As you can see, it's a tweedy. I love. So Knitpicks has some great yarn. And the wool of the Andes, it's really good. It's 100% wool. It is, and this has tweed. So, well, I can't remember. It's like 80-20 something. Highland wool, I think. Peruvian Highland wool, and 20% Donegal tweed, I think. And the color, the red, it's like kind of like a maroon red, which is kind of the same color as Ron Weasley's sweater in the movie. This one is called, let me tell you, I wrote it down, Garnet Heather, and then the gold or yellow is called Olive Heather. And my son's name starts with an E, so this is gonna be for his birthday. He's turning 11, so if you know anything about Harry Potter, then you know that on your 11th birthday you get a letter from Hogwarts if you're a wizard, which he will be, and he will get a letter. And my brother, his uncle, he's a huge gift giver and he has a crazy imagination. He does scavenger hunts for them on the birthday, and we're planning like a few things to make it a Harry Potter birthday, and I'll be making Harry Potter cookies. Don't know what the design is yet. And I'll be making a Harry Potter cake, which I don't know what that design is yet. But if you saw the other pictures, my daughter wanted a unicorn birthday. And they all know that when they turn 11, they will get a Harry Potter birthday. That's just a thing we do now, apparently. Well, it's a thing that I've always wanted to do before I even had kids. I've been a Harry Potter fan for a very long time. So yeah, so I think I showed it to you last time, and the sleeves weren't put together. They were done, I think, but they were not, you know, I hadn't done the anything else. This was not put together. And I think I followed the pattern pretty well. I made the extra small size. I should have done a small. I think I should have done a small. It's not gonna last them for that much longer, but it's okay. And then I did a rolled ribbed, what is this called, neck. I didn't remember. So yeah, so I just did a rolled, which means I knitted it longer. I did a purl round in between, then I kept going, and then I rolled it and I sewed it in because I think it looks really nice. And so yes, so that is it. I was surprised to see that, you know, I mattress stitched the sleeves, and I think they turn out pretty neat. And you also mattress stitch the sides. I have a video actually that I made. I might pop it in here of me doing it one night, and I might pop it in so you can see what a mattress stitch looks like. And I actually love mattress stitch. I think it's like magic. You do it and then you pull it and it's like boom, and it just so pretty. And so there we go, the Weasley sweater. It's all done. I do want to block it one more time just because I didn't say this is done on duplicate stitch. Sometimes my foreigner accent comes out. Duplicate stitch, which means that you do it, you sew it, you embroider it after you've knitted something. This is not intarsia. This is not color work. This is duplicate stitch. And I love duplicate stitch. It's really fun. Also, tip, if you do color work and you mess up on like 1 or 2 spots, instead of undoing everything, well, here I'm saying you don't mess up as in like you completely started like 1 or 2 stitches after you should have, because then everything will be, you know, you would mess up everything. The whole thing would be messed up. No, I'm saying is if you forgot a little stitch here or there, you can go with duplicate stitch, and you can go with the right color yarn and you go and fix it. Or you forgot to add like 1 or 2 stitches somewhere, you can go with duplicate stitch and then add it. And it's like, you don't have to undo the whole entire color work. So it's a little tip. It's really fun. But since I did this after it was blocked, I want to go and block it again so it can like relax a little bit more. And it can be a bit more neat, but I think it's pretty good. Let's move on to the next thing. Look at that. We're actually getting there. This one I started 2 days ago and I finished it. So I started it, what day is today? Thursday. I started it Tuesday night. I finished it last night. Because it's little, but it's so cute. I will do a close-up of this one too. Because you have to be able to appreciate the texture of this stitch. So this is called the Lennox Cardigan by Anna from the Bluebird box. No, is that what it's called? Yes, the Bluebird box. That's what it is. So I made it for my niece. They're coming for Christmas. This is a Christmas gift already, and they're coming for Christmas time. And she lives in Utah, and she's almost 2. And so this I made the 1 to 2 years size, and I think that's the 3rd size in the pattern. I don't remember what the smallest size, and I think it might go up to like a size 8 or 10 or something like that. And I bought this pattern a while back. Actually, I was watching Anastasia from Free Your Sheep, and she mentioned this designer, which I didn't know. And I think the designer had given her a 20% off for her viewers or something. So I was like, ooh, let me go see if there's anything I liked. And I saw this and I fell in love. So I'm using the Baby Bee yarn from Hobby Lobby, which you've seen me use before. I don't use a lot of acrylic, but I do for baby knits for people who are not used to wool. Because first of all, it's an off-white for a 2-year-old. And I mean, what kind of gift would it be giving my sister-in-law if she also had to hand wash something off-white? So I'm used to hand knits now. So my kids get wool, and I try to get ones that are not too itchy, but even a little bit itchy, my kids are starting to learn, this is wool, it's gonna keep me warm, it's gonna be good. Embrace the itch. And I'm not saying embrace the itch, but like, you know, like you get used to over time. Like probably years ago, I probably couldn't have used Latlopi on my skin. But the more I work with rustic wool, and the more I get used to it. I don't know if that has happened to you. And it's crazy because I have super sensitive skin for other things, but this I can handle. When I was a kid, no way you could put me on something that itchy. But now I don't find it itchy. So as you can see, it is a very fun construction and it looks really cute. So this is supposed to be a crop little sweater, and it only goes to kind of about like 3/4 sleeves. So that's why it looks the way it looks. Because it's supposed to be, it's gonna be perfect for like little dresses for when she goes to church. And cut a layering piece, and I did have more tags ordered. So my little brand, or whatever you want to call it. It used to be called Little Monkey and Me, and that was years and years ago, and I kept going with that until I decided to start the podcast. And that's when I decided to add the S to Little Monkeys and Me, because I started this back when I only had one kid, and I would sell things every once in a while, and I wanted a little tag for things I made. So I sent out to make some tags, and that's when I had to come up with a name. I didn't want to say made by mommy, because sometimes I made things to give to other people. Actually, a lot of times I made things to make, I made things for other people, or I even sold something sometimes, so I didn't want to say made by mommy or whatever. So I had to come up with a name. And at the time, my son, my oldest, he was young, I don't know, 1.5 years or so, and he loved Curious George. So he was my little monkey. And well, now I have 3 monkeys. So Little Monkeys and Me, that's why the name of it. So I love these tags. These are new tags that I bought, and I don't remember the shop where I got them from, but if I remember to put it down, then I will. If not, remind me. And yes, I made them 1 to 2 years old. It called for sport weight, and I believe this is a DK, but I got a gauge, and I just went ahead and did it. This is what I had. I had some leftover from some of the other cardigans and things that I made for my niece and nephew. They both had babies, and well, one's about to have the baby. The other one, she had her baby, and she's so cute, and they got their presents and they loved them. So I had some leftover, and you know me, I don't have a huge stash because I usually buy with a purpose. Usually, it's not always, but most of the time I do buy something, and I don't go crazy because I don't have enough space to have tons and tons of yarn laying around. So I had this, and I wanted to make it, and I had finished some things, so I was like, ooh, can I cast on something new? And ended up being a really quick knit. It was easy to follow, great pattern. I will link it below because I really, really did like it, and I love the look of it, and I might have to make one for my daughter now. I might make it in the same yarn for my daughter, especially if she's gonna wear it with like dresses and things, because something too itchy, she's getting there, but not quite there. So that's it. With that, that's all I can say. Oh, wait. Actually, let me tell you how it's constructed. It is done top down. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's bottom up. It's bottom up. And I had these wooden, pretty wooden buttons already, but it is bottom up. But you do the sleeves first, and you only do a very tiny bit because, as you can see, you joined quite early on. So you're gonna make sleeves that are pretty short. You're gonna make both of them, put them aside, and then you're gonna start this. This is done back and forth, not in the round, and it has an easy pattern to follow. You do have things happening at the same time in here, which I love. I like when a pattern gives you many things to do, and I know that maybe for somebody else it's a bit confusing, and it was at the beginning for me, but it does make sense in my head. I don't know how to explain it, but I like putting everything, and it's, I don't know, I have a stitch counter for the stitches. Then I do have a stitch counter on my phone too, like an app. And so if it tells you, okay, you need to do the raglan these many times, or you have to do this, you know, row 3 to 6 5 times, then I'm knitting, and my stitch counter, I count the rows, and then on my phone I count the repetition of the rows, if that makes any sense. You can also write it down, but I don't know, it just makes sense to do multiple things, because you will be doing the stitch pattern, which, you know, has, I don't know, like 12 rows of repetition, and then you will also be doing some raglan and decreases once you join the sleeves. After you do that, then you do the neck, and I did the bind off for the neck. It is a tubular bind off, which I think it turned out pretty good. It's really pretty. I've never done one before, so I went, because it said you can do any bind off that you want, or you can do the tubular one. And since I'd never done one, I was like, oh, let me try that. So I did it and I really liked it. I think it makes it look quite neat. And I think that's all I have to say about that one. But it's worth buying. Really liked it. I forgot something that I was going to show you. So let me show you this and then I'll go look for the other one. But let me show you this next one because I have one left, one cake left. So this, I bought it, I think it came right after the last podcast. And this, it is Lichen and Lace Sport, Rustic Sport, that's what it's called. And it is color ginger. And I bought this through the Woolly Thistle, which is an online yarn shop that is based off of, I think, New Hampshire. Corinne is her, the owner, and she is a Scottish woman living in the US. She's lived here for, I think, over 20 years. But she still has some of her Scottish accent, which I love. And she has a shopcast that she does, kind of like a little bit of a podcast, but she tells you like the new things they're getting in the shop, which is super dangerous, but really fun to watch because she talks about the yarn a little bit further than just putting it up in the shop. So when she talked about this yarn, I fell in love. It was hard to pick a color, but this ginger color, it's just so good. I mean, can you tell? It was like similar to the color of my Maja cardigan. And so it is a sport weight, but I have to say it's pretty thin, and because it is like a one ply and almost, it is very I don't know if you will be able to tell very well. If you can't, then I will just make another video where you can see it closer. But you will find a little bit of hay on this too. It's pretty rustic. It is way softer than Litlopi. It's very soft, but it's not merino soft. I don't mind it against my skin, and I definitely don't mind it against my neck. But when you touch it, it's not like, oh, that is the softest yarn. No, it's rustic, but it's not terribly rustic, I don't think. But it's similar. The spinning of it is very similar to Litlopi if you've had it. It's like one ply, and it's spun, but not very high twist at all. It is also very, very easy to break, and like you can pull, but then it breaks quite easily. So that's kind of how it goes. And this, it got here like right after I think that I did the last podcast, and this was for my Aloft. I finished it. So I started and finished it before my next podcast because it was just so good. So I made my Aloft shawl from 52 Weeks of Shawls book, and it's huge. I made the biggest size because I like big shawls, or like my husband likes to call them, a small blanket. But let's talk about this shawl. It is a lace shawl, and this has been blocked. And it's very big. It is very big. Let me see if I can stand up, and then you can maybe see it a little bit better. Kind of tight in here, people. Okay, let me just pretend like we are standing up normal. It's big. It's a triangular shawl, which I love. Okay, let me just set that. Like I said, it's lace. It is charted. The chart took me a minute to figure it out, and then once I did, made total sense. It's blocked, so it did plump up a little, which is so good. And I think it got a little softer too, and It's just so plump. And like you can see, it's like, oh, so good. It just makes me happy. I don't know. It's just, like, seriously, when I finished it, I put it around me. My husband just looks at me. He's like, that is huge. And I'm like, I know. So happy. And I was like, just don't mind me while I walk around during winter with a blanket on me because it's so big. So it has bobbles, just a few. I mean, it's only one on one of the repeats. It's only one line, one row of bubbles on each repeat. So the way that this works is that you start at the very top, and then you will have increases in the middle of spine, and also and the I-cord, what's it called? The beginning, edging, I-cord edging that you will be making as you go. And then you will have an I-cord bind off at the end, which, you know, it took a little bit, but I-cord bind off is so easy. You just sit there and you finish it. It's no problem whatsoever. I mean, it's long. Yeah, it's long. But the good thing is that you only have to do it at the bottom because the top and the sides the top. Yeah, you only have to do it at the bottom because the top already had been doing it the whole entire time because that's how you do it at the beginning. So, you can, so if you want this, there's 3 sizes. If you want the smallest size, I think you only do 3 repeats of the main chart. Then if you want the medium size, you do 4 repeats of the main chart. And if you want the biggest size, which I got, which is the one I did, and I had some leftover yarn. How exciting. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But if you want the biggest size, you do 5 repeats. And then you do of the edging, which is this. You can see it's a bit different. Has a little bit of a different look. The edging, you do 2 repeats. And then you bind off on the I-cord bind off. And it was fun. Yes, it got really big. And I did have to put it away because I was doing the test knit of the socks. And then the KALs. And then summer socks camp started, but in between all that I still knitted. And I mean, it's a pretty big shawl, but it was so fun. I didn't mind how big it was. The chart is, like I said, once you figured out how to read the chart, you're good to go. It's totally understandable. And then each row, they're not that hard. I mean, it looks hard, but it's really not, and it's easy to read your knitting in it. So then you can kind of figure it out what comes next and to make sure that you're not making a mistake. So I didn't use lifelines. I didn't need it, but I did mess up like one time, but I noticed it right away, and it was like the previous row. Of course, it was like towards the end, so the row was like forever long. It's like 300 and something stitches, so I had to undo it, because I was almost at the end of the other row, and I was like, you know what, this doesn't look right. I looked at it and I was like, no, I messed up right there. My husband's like, how can you tell? I'm like, you can tell. So I had to go back that row, and it was at the beginning of the other row, and fixed it, and then just went back. So just keep looking at your knitting. Don't do it like I did. I love this so much. So if you have this book, you don't have to make the biggest size. This was supposed to be in fingering weight, but I did it in the sport because it's really, and I checked my gauge. I actually did check my gauge before, and I pretty much got it with this yarn. So I had no problem. And it's big. It's huge. It will be perfect to be, my husband's like, how are you going to wear it? And I'm like, well, there's different ways that you can wear it. Now, I don't know if I can wear like a scarf, because that might be like, it'll look like a huge bib, like huge bib. But I'm definitely going like this. I don't care if I look like I'm 80. I tell everyone, I'm like, I'm already 80. It's totally fine. This is just part of me looking how I am. I'm already an old lady, and it's fine. I like everything that's old and yeah, my dad like makes fun of me. But definitely like this. You can also do it like kind of off shoulder, wrap it around. I can't say enough how happy I am. And I can't, no, I can't wait because summer's just starting and I love summer. So I can't wait to wear it. But at the same time, I'm so excited for the winter. Look at me. I'm going to have a brand new cardigan. Oh, I did get to wear it because, when did I finish it? Don't remember. I can't remember. A few weeks ago, we actually had a really cold day. It was a Sunday. I was heading to church. I was actually in this outfit. And I looked outside. It was like 50 degrees. It was like 40 something or 50. I'm like, no, I don't do 50 degrees. Not without having something on. Because I get cold. So it was literally that weekend that I had finished it. And it was dry. And it was done. And I thought I was never going to be able to wear it until like December. And I got to wear it. And that's when I took pictures. And they turned out, I think, pretty good. My husband took the pictures for me. So I think they were cute. And I need to take pictures with that. So I can post them on Instagram because I haven't posted there. And if you have Instagram, follow me. This is the address. Not address. That is my handle. Little Monkeys and Me. And Little Monkeys and _me. That's mine. I think. Oh, let me go get the thing that I told you I needed to. Okay, I'm back. Magic. I was able to find it, but I don't know where the hat is. So I'm going to pop a picture. But my daughter, you know, her birthday was last week. And she wanted a sloth. So these are Pica Pau, Friends, what's it called? But the Pica Pau-2 book. I showed you a few episodes ago. And I thought she wanted a koala, which is what I made for somebody else. Ended up giving it away because this wasn't what she wanted. But this was a total surprise and she was so excited. It usually has a hat which makes it so adorable. But she likes to sleep with the little sloth. And so the hat, who knows where it is. Or she did tell me she takes off the hat because it gets lost while she sleeps with him. But I couldn't find it. She will have to find it later. But it is so cute. And I was so excited because I got to use the Pica Pau actual yarn that it calls for. Super easy. Love these patterns. Highly recommend the book. If you like making crocheted animals, amigurumis, these are definitely a way, maybe not to start, but then again, you know, I like to throw myself. That's how I've learned a lot of things. I learned a little bit of the basics, but the only way of learning more and getting better at something is to get out of your comfort zone. You're gonna be learning how to knit, making a scarf. Sure. You may learn knits and pearls, and if it's a simple scarf, great. But you're not gonna be able to do a whole lot more with, if that's all you do, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to try that new that new stitch that you've never done. And the best way is by trying a new pattern, even if it looks a tiny bit difficult. Go ahead and try it because now we have YouTube, because now we have Google. That's how I've learned so many things. A few episodes ago, I talked about how I like making my knitted animals, which are from Little Cotton Rabbits, Julie. And I started knitting those years ago, and my knitting skills weren't bad, but I learned so much. I've done intarsia with them, which I'd never done before. I did color work with the clothes. I did a lot of texture and lace with the clothes. Decreases, increases, different kind of increases. The increase that you do from just make one left, make one right. Which at the beginning I had to keep looking up which way is it that you grab the yarn and pick up the stitch to make one right, and which one is the make one left. I don't have to look that up anymore. Also the ink, different decreases. I learned a lot from something that is tiny, that you finish quickly, but the skills are there. So if you know how to crochet and you want to try amigurumis, try it. They may not look perfect at the beginning, but with each try, you'll get better and better. And they're fun. They're so cute. So those are my finished objects. Who knows how long I've been doing this for. But I only have one whip that is housed in my summer sock camp bag from... I will tell you, and I will write it down below. So crazy something, maybe? But it's so good, and it glows in the dark. Not that I needed to go, but I thought it was so cool. And I got the gray. There was a chance of purple and gray. I'm not a purple person, so gray. And I did get the pin, like the enamel pin from the Crazy Sock Lady from K. I didn't go all out, but you know, some things I did. So this was one of my summer sock camp socks. So this was my other pair, you know, and I already finished one pair. And then I did one pair of my Lucky Star socks. And as you can see, there's a star, which is done with duplicate stitch. My goodness, I can't say that word. Is done with duplicate stitch. And the other one will have a heart on it. Because these are higher than I usually make my socks probably like this tall. And this was higher. And I wanted to make them exactly how the pattern calls, because then you get to use all the colors. And I also use her yarn. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. Who are these by? These are by Deborah, who from Candy Shop Yarns. She did the pattern and she dyes the yarn. So I got the kit. And these are higher than I usually wear my socks. I have bigger calves. So my legs, I wanted to make sure that it was wide enough for my leg. So I cast it on the biggest size. But here's the thing. I should have, once I got to here, I should have started decreasing and going down to like 64 stitches, which is usually what I do. And if I wouldn't have done it at least here, I should have definitely done it for my foot. So they are a bit loose. So I'm trying, I mean, I try them on. They don't look terrible. They're not terribly loose. But at the same time, I'm debating whether I do one exactly like this, or I make a whole other pair and do it correctly and then just undo this and use it for my daughter, because I know I'm gonna make a pair for my daughter. I should have enough to make my daughter a pair of these. So I don't know. That's why they're in the naughty corner, and that's why I haven't finished them, because I was so excited about these. And then when I finished them and I tried them on, I was like, why did I do this? It should have been better. And then I got distracted with other things. But they are sitting here, and the yarn is so beautiful. I do like speckles. Speckles make me happy. And especially like this, it looks like a little confetti. So pretty. And all the little balls. So I need to take it back up and just do it. But I need to decide what I want to do. I don't mind ripping back. It's just, do I really want to rip it? Because that's the other thing. Like, all of these are already cut. They're already woven in. I like to wait, like, I did all that work already. Everything is woven in, as you can see. All woven in. I like doing it as I go or right after I finish. I don't like ends. So it's like so nicely woven in that just the thought of having to take this out, you know, now that I think I'm just gonna make another one. They're not terribly loose. They can be home socks, comfy, warm home socks. I've decided. Thank you very much for being part of my decision making. Thank you. You're probably thinking I'm crazy, but yes, summer sock camp still happening, free. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy bags. You just go onto her Revelry page for summer sock camp, and I did these on 9-inch Chiagu, like I always do. So I'm gonna show you this. Not what's inside. It's my daughter's shawl, which I've worked on it, but you've seen it so many times. It's just a little bit longer, so I'm not gonna show it to you. But I did want to show you this. Look at that. The person who didn't have project bags now has 4. 1 made by me, 3 that I bought. And this is the bee bag from the Blue Rabbit house. And I did not buy the kit. The kit was a little bit out of my budget. But I did went ahead and bought the bag because I fell in love with the bag, and there's another bag of hers that I really, really want. So what's special about this is that, and oh, it's a drawstring, it's that she draws the art in them. Just several ones. I want the hedgehog. Oh, she's so cute. But she does the artwork, and then she sends it to be made into fabric, and then she sews the bags. So how cool is that? And her artwork is beautiful and kind of looks, it's like watercolor, which I love. And so yeah, this took 2 weeks. I ordered it, I think, I ordered a while back, but it took a long time. I mean, she's in Belgium, so it took a little while to get here, which is fine. So let's go. Sorry. Let's move on to acquisitions before I take even longer. And these are all things that I have not bought recently, but they took a little bit to get here. So if you are part of the summer sock camp, you know who this is. This is the Desert Vista Dyedworks Summer Sock Camp 2021 colorway. And I still haven't knitted it up because I was doing the other ones, and so this is my next cast on. For sure, I need to start this, and I have to start it. It is so pretty knit up. Alexandra from Fiberbound, she already finished hers, and it's beautiful. Like, the stripes are so good in this. Suzanne, I think it's Suzanne, her name. She's so good. She dyes like a crazy woman. She has so many skeins going. But yeah, so I got this one. I mean, I ordered this back when it opened back in March, and I got it in May after I recorded the other podcast. So I wanted to show you that one. I already showed you this, which I bought a little while ago for, I still don't know what I was gonna do with this. So look at that. I actually have something that goes to the stash without a project in mind. So, I don't know. It's cute. I thought it was cute. This one, it was a pre-order, so it took a while to get here. This is from Woolberry, and it's the 20,000 colorway. So when they had 20,000 sales. I think they've been dying for about 5 years though, and they had their 20,000 sales, so they decided to make a colorway for it. And the moment I saw it, I thought it was so pretty. These are not colors I wear, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with it. I figured I'll just use it for socks. This is 80-20, so 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon. It's 400 yards for 100 grams. And so yeah, I thought it was so pretty. Most likely socks. I mean, I don't mind wearing this in socks. It's just not my color to like wearing clothing or anything. So I just got one skein at a time. And the next one, it's for more socks because we are in summer sock camp. And this is West Yorkshire Spinners. And I got this color. It's called Nutmeg. And this is their 75-25. So 75 wool, 25 nylon, 4 ply. And these, I think, are going to be Inga's cable socks. So I bought her pattern right when it came out. Right when it came out. Inga from Knit and Traditions, she made a cable sock pattern, and this will look cute. Like, you'll be able to see the cables. So I bought this and I got here not too long ago. So these will be socks. Those are pretty much my acquisitions. And don't know how long it's been, but if you're still here, hello, thank you. I have a 11 question tag that Davina from Little Workroom Crafts, hi Davina, she did a little shout out to me, and she did this tag, and then she tagged me to do it. So it's 11 questions, and they're all fiber related. I'll answer them. They're not super long. I already wrote the answer, so it shouldn't be, I shouldn't go off talking forever. And then I'll tag somebody else to do it. And the 11 questions. Let's start with number 1. Favorite color yarn? That's hard, but probably like a soft pink. I am a sucker for soft pink, but then I like earthy tones a lot. You will see I can't answer these with one question. I mean, with one answer. I'm the worst. Favorite weight? Fingering. It has to be 4-ply, or some of them is 2-ply, but fingering weight in the US it's called. That's my favorite. It can be turned to so many things, and if nothing else, I'll make socks with them. So, style of yarn, I would say first goes tonals. I like more of like a solid color, then speckles, and then variegated. Variegated is my least favorite. And it's always so hard because there's some beautiful ones, but then when it knits up, I'm always like, it's too busy or too much. So tonals are my favorite for sure. I like one color, plus I like doing color work. I don't know. It's hard, but and it doesn't have to, I mean, like, this is somewhat variegated, but I think it's gonna knit up pretty close to a tonal, but I don't know. This is a bit variegated, but definitely for socks I don't mind though. For socks, anything can go, but if I have to make like a shawl or things like that, I want a little bit more like one color or very few speckles. Number 4, favorite fiber. So I don't know, that's really hard. For me, favorite fiber would be wool. Cotton, it's okay, but it's not really my favorite, and all the other ones like plant fibers, not my favorite, but I do use them. I do like alpaca, but wool is like, it's just, I've never tried camel, and I've never tried yak, and I've never tried what are the other ones they usually have? Well, now they're making fiber out of a lot of things, but wool is definitely my favorite. And inside wool, I don't know, BFL. I do like Icelandic wool though a lot, so I can't pick a breed. I don't know. That's too hard, but definitely more of like the rustic side of yarn. But then merino is beautiful. It's just, sorry, I can't pick one thing. Favorite brand? If it comes with like mass produced, you know, bigger brands, I love Lopi. I love Lopi yarn, or then, which is, I think the company's called Istex, but I don't really know. That's too hard. Too many good things. But if we call it like start indie dyers, I do love Sewrella Yarn. Her colorways are gorgeous. The other one I love is Explorer Knits. Explorer Fibers. That's what it's called. Explorer Fibers. And I love her. Allie, she does beautiful things. She actually was one of the first ones that I knew of, like, the indie dyers, and she got me into seeing more. So I'm not very good at doing these because I can't come up with one thing. Favorite yarn that you can't get here nowadays? I mean, I think this means more like it's not local, so you have to pay a lot more for shipping, so it just kind of gets hard, and hence once I haven't bought it. But the one that I am dying to buy, well, there's two. I put three. But okay, the one that I'm dying to buy, but I haven't because it's pricey to get it here. It is Woolly Fiber Co from Emma. Oh, her yarn. I just want to, everything she does with yarn makes me happy. First of all, they're all 100% wool. She dyes it natural dyes, and the colors she gets are gorgeous. And she is so into her yarn. Like, I mean, if you watch her podcast, go watch it. It's so fun. She cares. Like, her whole process is so important to her. She gets a lot of it. She's from Ireland, by the way. She gets Irish wool. Then she tries to spin it in Ireland. And then she dyes it in Ireland with her. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just lovely. The other one that I love is Knitpicks-woold. Knitpicks-woold yarn. If you haven't heard of it, I need to go check it out. That's my next. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get that because I have something in mind that I want to make. I'm gonna see. And then the unicorn yarns. So if you don't know Unicorn Knits podcast, you should go check her out. Gosha, I think is how you say it. Gosha. I can't remember how you say your name, but she's so lovely. She's so sweet. But she also is a yarn dyer, and her yarn, her mohair, the colors that she gets are just gorgeous. And also in Europe. Favorite yarn store. We don't have very good ones here in my city, but off in the mountains, you know, like an hour and away from here, I did find one that's called Unwound. What's it called? Unwound. Can I talk? It's close to Blowing Rock, so it's in Blowing Rock, and it's beautiful yarn store. It had a lot of yarn, and the ladies there were lovely. So I guess that's the closest one to me that I can think of. Favorite online store, I would have to say the Woolly Thistle. I love the Woolly Thistle. She mostly brings UK yarns. So she gets to, it's a little bit more than the price that you would pay at the UK, but then her shipping is pretty reasonable. So we can get some of the UK yarns that I wish I could buy, but I don't have to order them all the way from over there. So it's really nice. And she's always coming up with like new things. And I think I forgot to tell you that this is a Canadian company, and it is milled in the oldest Canadian mill, which I think is Briggs & Little. So just so you know. I like to know things like that. I think that's so interesting. And the other one is Knitpicks. You know, Knitpicks is a little bit more commercial, but they do have some really good 100% wool, like Wool of the Andes or Palette. It's also Highland wool. And the colors are great. The prices are very reasonable. And, you know, love it. It's great. Do you keep scrap yarn? Yes, I do. And I need to work on that scrappy blanket that I started a million years ago. Favorite thing to knit with? Chiago circular needles. They're my favorite. I haven't used straight needles since I was a teenager, probably. So, Chiago. And Chiago's my favorite. And I know that there's other ones that are great, but I've invested so much money on my Chiago sets and my Chiago, like, I have interchangeables, and I also have many of them that are fixed that I don't really need to go buying more because I have plenty. So I know that there's some other ones that are good. I just haven't tried them, but I tried Chiago and I fell in love. So The last one, if you could only knit one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be, and what would you use? Cable needles, or like circular cable needles. And this one's hard. I like socks, maybe shawls, maybe because shawls are like, you can get so many different shapes. So if I had to like knit one thing forever, then I guess shawls, because maybe you won't get as sick and tired of it. But these questions are always hard. Well, that is it. Now for the last part is my shout outs. I like to tell you of podcasts. I usually go with 4 podcasts that I am enjoying. Doesn't mean they're brand new. Some of them aren't. I mean, not brand new, but like sometimes it is a brand new podcast. Sometimes it's not. But I like watching knitting podcasts, and I think in the knitting community we are very kind. So I like being kind, and some people mention me in podcasts, and I always find it so nice that I love mentioning other ones. And it's hard because I have to like keep up list because I don't want to forget people, and if I haven't mentioned you yet, it doesn't mean I don't watch you, or that I don't like you, or that I don't want to mention you here. It's just I don't want to also say so many names that your name gets lost in a big list and no one, you know, at least with 4, and that's still a lot, at least with 4 people can have the time to go and check them out. So the first one is Laura. You probably have seen her from the Knitting Pickle, and she's great. She's so fun. She's funny. She started this year, I think, and she is starting to design. She designed some socks that are gorgeous. When that pattern comes out, I'm definitely getting it. Even though I have a book with 52 patterns of socks. But let's not talk about that. So Laura is great. She is in England. She is in England. She lives in England. And she has 2 kids. And she's really funny. She's great. I love her. Go check her out if you haven't yet. The next one is Brogan. Brogan is from Scotland. And I love her accent. Brogan. I think that's how she says her name. But I don't want to sound silly. But I think she has kids, and she's a nurse, I believe, and she just started knitting like at the end of last year, maybe. I can't remember what it was, maybe October last year, and she just started a podcast, and she's doing awesome. And because she's so nice and her knitting skills are amazing, this is kind of what I was saying. Well, she was a crocheter before, but this is what I'm saying is you can knit scarves forever and be scared to like try a new thing. I'm just saying scarf, not that I hate scarves, but you know, because you can also have hard scarves. But what I'm saying is she just jumped in, and there are several people who do that, and it's amazing. And you're like, well, how can they? Well, I'm like, well, they learn along the way. Don't be scared. Jump in, make mistakes. She talks about some of her mistakes, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you haven't knitted for a long time, I guess that's not common knowledge. I can't remember which one was it, the mistake that she made in something. And I was like, oh yeah, well, you know, I knew that, but I've been knitting for a long time. But for someone who hasn't, you know, it's not common sense. But guess what? It didn't stop her from trying. It didn't stop her from keep on going. And she learned, and now she knows she won't make that mistake again. And her knitting is so good. Next one is Crystal from Books, Hooks, and Yarn, and she is from Australia. I think no, I'm not going to tell you where she lives because I don't remember. Queensland, maybe? Somewhere in... I don't remember where she said she lived, but it's Australia. And she's great. She's really, really good. And I think she's doing it weekly now, though she did have to go to the hospital and get surgery on her foot. I hope you feel better, Crystal. If you're watching my podcast, feel better. Because we need our feet. I mean, we need all sorts of parts of our body, but when your foot hurts, you really realize, I really need my feet. So she has 2 daughters, and they got a puppy, which is so cute, and a husband, and I think she helps kids read. I think that's her job. She works at a school, and she helps the kids who are having trouble reading, and which I think is wonderful. I think you're probably an angel to them, because there's nothing worse than struggling, and you know, it's not because you're stupid, it's because, or dumb, or lazy, you know. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Each kid is different, and I think it's great that you're giving them the chance to get there. And so that's Crystal, Books, Hooks, and Yarn. And the last one is Gabriella from Merryweather Knitting. I don't know if you've seen her. She's been doing it for a little bit. I want to say she started last year. And she is an American living in Germany with her husband and her daughter, who's only like 1.5 years. And Gabriella was actually homeschooled. Hi, Gabriella, if you're watching. We've become friends. I've become friends with a lot of them. Well, at least I think you're my friend, so I'll call you my friend. And Gabriella is so sweet. I mean, if you want somebody who's excited about life, period, go watch her channel. She is a great knitter. I think she has a weekly podcast. She just radiates joy, and she's so sweet. So please go check them out. I think I'm done talking. I think I always, at the end of it, I'm always like, oh gosh, I forgot something else. But I just want to wish you a wonderful week. I am planning on making it every 2 weeks. I always feel I do not have enough for doing it every 2 weeks. And then I do it a month later and I have too much. So technically I should have enough to do a 2-week podcast. Now that it's summer and we are on vacation, it will be easier for me to do a 2-week podcast, and it might not be a million years long. So that's it. Happy knitting, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.